I want to go to economic matters today with a big speech at the National Press Club by the Governor of the Reserve Bank, Dr Philip Lowe. I want to catch up now with Dr Peter Tulip, who's the Chief Economist at the Centre for Independent Studies. Peter, you're formerly with the Reserve Bank, as I understand it. First up, tell us about the assessments of the economy. A lot of optimism today about Australia sort of powering out of the COVID recession better than many expected.
Yeah, g'day, Chris. So the outlook is a lot better than it was just a few months ago. We've had good numbers in activity, the labour market, a series of measures suggests, and maybe most importantly, public health, all of which suggesting that the virus is going away a bit quicker than we thought and the economy is recovering quicker than we thought. But there's still a long way to go.
Now, Philip Lowe said today that there is an asset price boom, that those with assets are seeing their prices inflate. We see that with the property market, for instance. And he's not concerned about there being a bubble. Should we be concerned, though, that this means that it's those people with money that are benefiting at the moment and it's making life harder for young people and people trying to get into the property market, for instance?
No, I don't think that's right, Chris. Asset prices and house prices are one of the main ways in which monetary policy works. And you can't get the unemployment rate down and inflation up without stimulating the housing market. You worry about affordability, and yeah, that's an issue. It's harder to get a deposit. But remember, it's much easier to borrow. So mortgage rates, you can borrow fixed now for 1.75%. So if you can get the deposit together, it's easier to buy than it has been for any time in living memory.
All right, now I just want to show you a little clip here from the Reserve Bank Governor today. I thought it was a fascinating exchange because there's a lot of talk about governments around the world printing money, and a journalist asked Philip Lowe just to give us a sort of layman's explanation of what the Reserve Bank is doing when it's buying up bonds and issuing money, and here's his answer.
When we buy a bond from a bank, the way we pay for that is credit the banks that we use Westpac, since it's the sponsor of today's event. If we bought a bond from Westpac, we would credit Westpac's account at the Reserve Bank. And that creates the money electronically. That's how a modern system works. And then Westpac could use that money, hopefully, to make some loans to some of its customers. But we can create money electronically, and that's what we do these days. The central bank is the only one who can do that. That's the unique feature of a central bank, and that's why you want, this is my final point here, that's why you want a lot of governance over the process of doing that. You wouldn't want everyone to be able to do this, would you?
So we don't print money anymore. We just hit a few buttons on the keyboard and there it is. That's how easy it is for the Reserve Bank. Should we be worried?
No, central banks have been doing that increasingly over the past decades, and it hasn't given rise to problems. In fact, the worry is it'll be inflationary, but at the moment, underlying inflation is at record lows, so we're not seeing problems.
And your outlook for unemployment across the rest of this year?
It's too high. It's up. It's at what, 6.75% now, and it'll come down slowly. It would come down quicker, but the government is taking away JobSeeker and the JobKeeper. That's going to be a pause in the reductions. So we'll get continued progress on unemployment, but it's still, we want it to get down to around 4%, and we're a very long way away from that.
Especially with lockdowns in major cities and closed state borders, that can't help.
No, that has been a huge problem, but overall the lockdowns are less now than we thought they would be a few months ago. So overall, the lockdown situation has improved a lot.